Welcome to Emotional Breakdowns. And today we're here with Theriault from Working, and we're going to be talking about stretching your elastic band. This is a phrase that Lori actually heard it from her, and when I hear it, because she does personalities, she's gonna tell you real quick what she does, but I wanted to introduce her real quick. So when she told me stretching your elastic band, for me it made so much sense. But today we're here to explain to you what it is and how it can help you in your daily life according to your personality type. So I'll pass it to you, Lori. Welcome to Emotional Breakdowns.
All right. Thank you, Ada, for having me again. I think, my frequent flyer pass is still not expired. So I'm excited to continue to have this discussion with you and breaking down the emotions of people. And when you're a human, there's a lot of emotions attached to being a human. So
Definitely.
I own workitcareers.com. That's who I am, and I am happy to be your guest again.
Yes. Thank you. So we're going to be talking about different themes and a lot of different topics. But today, why stretching your elastic band? We're talking about personalities and emotions. And sometimes one of the things that we're going to start in here spinning off from each other is that there is, every day you have to go to work, every day you have to study, every day you have to be in autopilot because the society has taken us to this path where if we don't work or study or go to college, whatever the rule is, something bad is going to happen. Let's put it like that, right? Like I remember, having a really difficult childhood and going through a lot of emotions and not being understood. And when I met Lori, I always tell this story because she gave me the green light. I'm like, why do I go in class? The topic is so interesting. And then I see it and I'm like, I need to get out of here. That's what they call what right now, Lori? ADD, HDAC, something like that, So I knew I was, but personality-wise, even in the personality, there is an explanation for that. And that's where we're starting this stretching your elastic band. Because for me, it was so hard to be in a class for an hour, 2 hours, and I bet you there's more kids like that. But according to numbers that Lori has been working for the last 8-9 years, she has seen this, and through the personality, she can tell you, when this kind of things are happening. So we were talking about it as we were walking over here to the podcast room. We were talking with Lori, and you wanted to follow with, he says, this guru he's very big here on YouTube and everywhere. And he says that the society has really trained us for work, right? You need to work every day, you need to pay your bills, but that work, like for me being an entrepreneur, and she gave me also the green light. I've been an entrepreneur for 22 years, but just 9 years ago, I got the green light. You're a natural one. You don't need to go and learn to be an entrepreneur. You're one naturally. And the test can say that, right?
Yeah.
So for me, stretching the elastic band was working in an office, 8 to 5, and having to be there when I wanted to be free.
Serving others.
Serving others.
Or other business owners. So again, stretching the elastic band, what that means from an emotional breakdown. And again, Ada and I are going to provide education based on our experience, and that's how we learn best is through experience. Ada mentioned that she received a green light. And that green light came from when she realized that her personality is natural to being a business owner, an entrepreneur, one that can help many people be successful. She also mentioned that the word success comes from hard work, working hard, studying hard, going to college, and that's kind of I guess, a belief system that's passed down generational.
Yes, and that's exactly what we were talking about because, with me becoming a hypnotist, it was so crucial for biodecoding to be a psychobiotherapist because our brain is the perfect machine that manages our body. But if you don't know how that brain works, you could use it better. Einstein, everybody said it, But just for me knowing that a part of my personality has been there since I'm 10 years old and it will never change. And it will be like that until the day I die. But nobody told me that before. So now I come to acceptance of that I learn fast. And when I learn fast, that means that I lose attention because I want to go to where? The next step.
Yeah, so both Ada and I live in the future. So we have a visionary mind, and only about 10% based on my studies show that people embrace the future. There's about 70% of the world that holds on dearly to the past. So Ada and I work together. We do not do the same thing. We complement each other's businesses. I work for helping you develop a plan that will help you lead to a job that doesn't make you feel like you're working hard. Now, that does not mean that you're lazy in any way. Absolutely not. This means that you are working in alignment to your personality, to your emotional, emotional strengths, and that your ego remains intact, in check.
And I really like what you're saying in there, talking about the emotions, because this is where we are right now, emotional breakdowns, because there is we go through a breakdown, but we don't need to go through that breakdown. And stretching your elastic band I think is the very first step where you've been stretched. And because you need money, because you have a family to feed, because you have a house, a mortgage to pay, because you have a car to, whatever it is that you worry about that. In this personality test, Lori can tell you, hey, according to your personality, you're going to be worried about money until the day you die. So how can we manage that? For me, it was the people pleaser, right? The people pleaser is the best I have because I'm a salesperson. And if I want to please a customer, guess what? I'm going to do 100% to get that customer happy, but without compromising myself. And that's where you came, right?
Because we have compromised ourselves. We are both natural educators. We are people that are, we went through traditional schooling, like many of you out there, and it really just didn't make us fulfilled. It didn't provide a fulfillment like a lot of people do get when they get that certificate on the wall saying that they've graduated. So for us, it's about, going for the stage, because we both like to use our voice. So going to a traditional school was an opportunity to be on stage for us. That's why we completed it. So the visionaries, because we're both visionaries, the visionaries that are quiet are most likely to quit school. So their elastic band had been stretched to where it broke because they don't need the stage. And they were not in a classroom where they were studying something that was futuristic. We need to be studying things that are futuristic. Because that's where our brain lives.
And as you're talking, I remember being a little kid, right, and being in school, and just what you're saying, stretching your elastic band. I wanted to be on stage. I'm like, oh my God, I want to say poems, I want to do this, since I'm 8 years old, right? So here I am, I wanted the stage, but nobody was listening to me, nobody was paying attention to me, or nobody could speak my language. So they would say, whatever, let's put this one that is quiet because he needs to be in the stage and learn that he needs to talk, stretching the elastic band.
There's the stretch. So how many people do we know that are introverts that are in therapy because maybe their parents thought that they were suppressed? There's a difference between...
They need to be outgoing. No, people.
Yeah, not everybody needs to be.
Exactly. The society has really pushed us to learn to be somebody we're not.
it's because of our own egos. So if Ada and I were not in control of our egos, we would want every quiet person out there to be put on stage and become like us. And that is not the way the world should be run.
But the life is talking to us. God, universe, whatever you want to call it, it's always talking to us and teaching you who you are, but we don't listen. What are the odds that you and me have almost the same daughter that is the same personality? You know, we need the other extreme to see who we are. If you don't see quiet, how do you know you talk too much? How do you know that's white if you don't see the black?
Yeah, how many parents might have put their child through antidepressants because they are introverts? You know, we being extroverts, you have to catch yourself before you go and send your children on a journey to become like you. They're different individuals. And, you know, Ada and I talk a lot about prescriptions and being able to, I mean, we have a lot of clients that actually want to come off their prescriptions, and we are able to show them, give them some light as to who they are, because, you know, going to a therapist and being prescribed medication can kind of cover, mask.
It's a code. It's a code in a wound that you have maybe since you were a child or a teenager or since yesterday, whatever it is. It's a wound that you're being covered with pills, you know. And I don't have anything against like medicine. On the contrary, it's wonderful because, you know, they show you what we need to work on. That's how we work in biodecoding, you know. And I always talk about me because it's my experience. That's why medicine don't work, because they want to use one pill in a million people, and this million people doesn't have the same personality.
Right.
So the personality at the end, it's the one that is going to create the emotion, and the emotion is the energy emotion that is going to be the catalyst to wherever you need to go.
Yeah,
right?
you know, we work with all different kinds of personalities, and it's important to say that a lot of what's going out there in the world right now is a lot of it's based on fear. A child being criticized at a young age can put anxiety into their mindset, and what Ada and I do is bring that person back to center and really identify what caused that anxiety.
And in biodecoding, that's exactly, you know, what we do. We look for a code that was engraved in time in your system, which is the emotion that got trapped into your body, and it's going to light up something in your brain that is going to be there. So your brain is going to be solving that. How? Through sickness. Oh, okay. Like, for example, my teacher say, why do we get red, you know, when we're out in the sun? It's the body reacting to the sun and making it a protection for your skin so you don't get burned more, right? Because it's getting hot inside. So there's a reaction in there, but I always go back to the emotions in the body because that's my background. And with Lori, sometimes if I'm not sure of how to work with a client, I said, Lori, I need you. Can you do the test? Because this person, there's something in here, you know, that I really cannot understand, and I don't know how to work with this person, for example. And we were talking about our daughters, right? How do you deal with a daughter that is quiet when you want to talk? It's like, please talk, please talk. I don't want to talk. What do? You're stretching her elastic band and my elastic band.
Right. So we're both going to get frustrated. So you need to give those quiet individuals their space, whether they're your employee, their daughter, son, sister, brother, parents, whatever it is. Everybody's got their own tolerance of people. Ada and I have a huge tolerance of people. We can talk pretty much 20 hours a day to people and not get tired.
And today is the elastic band, but she also has another one that we're going to talk that I love, and it's filling up your tank. Remember when you're the tank?
That'll be the next podcast.
That will be the next podcast, because filling up your energetic tank, like she told me one day, oh, you know, you and me, we can take people until 20 minutes before we sleep. And I'm like, what? So I'm going to leave that one there because that is the other topic. Today we're talking about stretching your elastic band. But I will say in the comments if you can say this is how if you understand the topic.
Let's talk about breaking the band.
So
beyond the stretch is the break. So when I have clients that are over the age of 40, for instance, they're in a different it's a different ball game, and they have baggage, and they have worked for some maybe bad bosses, or they've had a terrible upbringing. At some point in everybody's life, there's trauma where somebody tries to stretch you. So what I recommend to people is to be strong in who you are. And that's what Work It does, is to help you identify those natural strengths so that nobody tries to convince you that you need to change, because you are who you are. There's a purpose in your life. There is a reason why you have the strengths you do. There is no such things as weaknesses in my world.
Yes.
So what happens is when you have people in your life that try to change you in the effort of making you better, that's a manipulation. Better.
I tell you to do this because I love you. I want you to see you okay. I want you to succeed. I want you to be successful, right?
You work hard now, you play later. How many people do we have as clients that never got to play?
Exactly, because they're waiting for the retirement, 60 here in the United States, or I don't know exactly the age. I'm gonna get there someday, but I will never retire. So, but when you get there and they're like, oh, I'm waiting to retire to do this, and then they retire, and I heard cases that they said, I got sick and I cannot travel anymore. I don't have money because now I have to pay for my health, for my medicines, for my care.
Health insurance is really expensive.
Yes. So how can you prevent all these things? Because, I tell people, this is the new world. The new world is different. And thanks the creator of the universe that a lot of us got successful, because for a lot of entrepreneurs, what happened was a sea of opportunities, an ocean of opportunity. I'm like, oh my God, look at this. Now there is more opportunities than before, where everybody will see chaos and sickness and dying. I will see that, but thanks to Work It, because a lot of those green lights Work It gave it to me, and how? Just telling me who I was and who I am and who I will be. That will not change. Habits, programs, beliefs can be changed, but your personality, Lori, the trace of your personality change. And that is stretching the band. How do you break that elastic band?
So some people are in marriages that are stretched to the point of breaking, which, there's a lot of that. Employee relationships can be stretched into the point of breaking. And what does the definition of breaking mean? It means hospitalization. It could mean death. It could mean divorce, or termination from a nice job that you have. From work. So that break could mean several different things, but you always want to look for the signs. If it doesn't feel good, if it seems like you're working too hard, then there is a misalignment. And that's probably the biggest thing that I want to say is the definition of stretching your elastic band is something doesn't feel right. And some people wait too long for those signs.
Yes. And then I said, the universe is always sending you signs, because I put it like this. I'm very visual and I talk with my body. It's almost like, you gotta leave that work. You have to leave that work. I don't like this work anymore. So those are signs that your elastic band is being stretched because you don't feel comfortable. But the universe is telling you, do it. But if you don't do it, if you're not mindful, when you said catch yourself, that's for me being mindful. It's be mindful that you're not happy, that you're not feeling good, that you don't like to be doing this kind of work. Be honest with yourself. Right?
But a lot of people don't know where to turn. So if you are one of those individuals that just doesn't know anything more than what they've been doing, then we are people that you probably want to get to know. So we're going to put that out there that we're here to help you. Whatever the stretch feels like right now. And it could be just a little stretch, it could be a larger stretch, or it could be a total breakdown in the sense of it's not too late, but it is definitely, we got some repair to do.
And I'm going to close with this one because we're almost on time. But for me, stretching my elastic band a long time ago was trying to be somebody who I wasn't, and it was a structure. It's really hard for me to be structured. And when somebody comes and tries to put me in a box and put a structure to me, it's stretching my elastic band, and you will see me snap. But because of my personality, I'm very strong. I break and I grow myself again, and I'm stronger.
But now,
beautiful.
Yeah, but now Ada understands better that if she surrounds herself with people that are going to put structure around her every day, it will eventually lead to another break. And she's strong enough, like she says, she is strong enough to glue herself back together, but many of us are not. So making sure, and one of the things that highlights in one of my programs is how to attract the right people so that you don't feel like you're stretched. And again, stretching yourself a little bit is okay, but completely coming out of your natural box is not okay. And I know that a lot of people will disagree with me on that. It is a true statement. If you try to become somebody you are not, you will break, and it will not be a good outcome.
And I'm gonna be funny. I love feet. Everybody is like, you have a fetish with feet? I don't know, because I don't want to kiss the feet. I don't want to make sex with feet. But but I love feet. And the first person that told me start on the feet was Lori. And with that, she's giving me again the green light, but I'm doing what I like. When I work and I touch feet, I'm like, oh my God, this feels so nice. And when I finish, I'm not tired. I'm inspired. I want to do more. And I'm just giving a small example because I love that. I love doing Reiki and whatever, but I have learned how to honor those parts of me that really want to come out, that people have tried to say, for example, if you have college, how can you be touching feet? What does that have to do in my head with I can touch feet, I can touch hands, there's people who touches hair, right? So for me, it was fine. But again, coming to that stretching, I didn't want to stretch most of the time I have not stretched my elastic band. Usually it's other people that stretches your elastic band or situations.
Yeah.
So breaking, emotional breakdown. Today we broke down this one for you. We did stretching your elastic band. I have many topics that we're going to be using with Lori, because she's going to be a frequent flyer in here, right?
Frequent flyer. And I just want to say, Ada and I are both on the prevention side. So we see things that a lot of people can't see or feel. And when people come to us, there is a glimmer of hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel. And that's what we provide. So Ada complements and supports what work it does. Clients go to her to heal from the past wounds, which is a result of emotional baggage, I guess. And I'm just able to identify where their emotions live and which ones are strongest. So we hope to hear from all of you soon. Workitcareers.com is the name of my company.
And I'm Ada Rios, Body, Mind, and Nutrition, but also I have only feet. Only feet. So if you want to, be pampered on the feet or anything that is going on with your feet, because if something happened to your feet, you cannot walk with the hands. So you got to take care of your feet. With that, I leave you. This was the podcast for Emotional Breakdowns. See you next time, Lori.
Yes. Stay tuned for the
refilling
of the gas tank.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.